2 out of 3 ain't bad. What's up, guys? At long last, welcome back to my channel. I said I was gonna start getting back into this in 2019, and we got a big one to lead off with the year. Let's talk about Glass. So Glass is the third movie in what we didn't know would be a trilogy of films done by M. Night Shyamalan. That, of course, being Unbreakable, Split, and now Glass. And this movie features the return of both Bruce Willis as David Dunn and Samuel L. Jackson as Elijah Price, aka Mr. Glass, as they take on James McAvoy from Split, aka The Horde. Now let me just say, Unbreakable is easily my favorite M. Night Shyamalan movie. I think the ideas it tackles, the complete deconstruction of the superhero genre before it even really got started, was something really unique and honestly really ahead of its time. The guy did have some, let's say, missteps along the way, but he did come back with The Visit, and then he really did come back with Split, which I thought was a good movie, which was enhanced by a great last-minute twist, that being that it was in the Unbreakable universe. And now we have the third chapter in this trilogy. Has it fair? Okay, first of all, let's get what I liked. I think the cast in this movie is really good. Talking about the main three, Bruce Willis. Okay, look, Bruce Willis has given some performances on autopilot in recent years. This movie is going to live and die on whether or not he showed up to work, and I think for the most part, he showed up. This is actually the most I've seen Bruce Willis invested in anything in a very long time. He does have some of that Bruce Willis deadpan line read, but that's what David Dunn was in the first one, so I didn't mind it as much here. Standout among the three was easily James McAvoy reprising his role as Kevin from Split. The dude crushed it in that movie, and he crushed it here, although he does ham it up to an almost unbelievable degree. I mean, there is one point in this movie where watching the performance essentially like flipping through channels. And yes, he does go a little cartoony at some points, but he does pull it back when it's necessary to pull it back. And yeah, I thought the guy was really good. But honestly, for a movie called Glass, Mr. Glass himself isn't as important as you think he would be. I mean, yes, he is relevant, especially towards the end of the film, but really, for a good chunk of this film, this feels like the Kevin and David Dunn movie. I'm not even kidding when I say like an hour goes by before he even says a word. But when he finally gets to, act in the movie, he does a very good job. Even when he's not speaking, he does have this intensity with his eyes and his facial tics that he does very well. Samuel Jackson, it feels like he's at home in this role. I was going to talk about Bruce Willis' son. Yeah, they got the same kid. I want to say his name is Spencer Clark Treat or Spencer Treat Clark. Can't remember which one it is. But either way, this kid is he's still a really good actor. He was good in the first Unbreakable, he's still really good here. I hope he is in more stuff because I haven't seen him in a while. Now, this isn't a very action-heavy movie, but they do have some action sequences, and they're done for the most part pretty well. They're grounded and realistic, so they're not as extravagant as some superhero action movies might be. But I will say, at least it has a distinct style to it. I don't like the way it's shot sometimes because it feels like it's shot on a GoPro, but I mean, for the aesthetic, it pretty much works. But then we get into the plot structure of this movie, and I feel like the tone of this review is kind of gonna change. This movie starts off really good, but then when Sarah Paulson's character is introduced, the movie just like slows to a crawl, and I get it. The first Unbreakable was extremely slow. The difference is the first Unbreakable at its heart was a character piece, and the slow pace allowed time to build both atmosphere and the characters that we were going to get to know throughout the entirety of the film. But the slow down of pacing here really hurts the movie because the reason Sarah Paulson's character is in this film is for a reason that's pretty contrarian to both the previous movies. I mean, it's in the trailer, so it's not exactly a spoiler, but she's pretty much here to disprove the theory of superheroes actually existing, which is an interesting concept, which would be an interesting concept to go off of in its own movie. The problem is it's following two films where we know these guys are superheroes. The most interesting thing about this arc is the fact that, at one point you do start to question whether or not these guys are superheroes. I mean, some of the points she's making do make sense, and you start to question what you do know and what you don't know about this movie and this universe. But then you think back to something and you're just like, oh wait, no, that's clearly not true because we saw this happen or we saw this happen. But this whole movie builds to a climax that for the most part is pretty exciting and pretty entertaining to watch, I'm not gonna lie. Until something happens. Now, reviews have talked about this ad nauseum, but there is a twist this movie takes that is either going to, I'm not sure it's gonna make the movie, but it's something that's gonna divide a lot of people. And for me, the twist didn't do it for me because it is something that just comes straight up out of nowhere. Like, Shyamalan, I give you credit because I never would have predicted this twist. I can't tell you what it is, but yeah, it's something that's either going to ascend the movie for you or decline it, and I don't know if it really did either for me, if I'm being honest. I mean, does it fit with the rest of the movie? Not really, but am I gonna say that it broke the rest of the movie for me? No. It's just a strange direction the movie takes that I'm not that big a fan of, but honestly, I didn't dislike it enough to the point where I'm going to say I dislike this movie because of it. Honestly, this movie does have an interesting message it tries to tackle. Because Mr. Glass's whole iota in this movie is that he wants to be seen. He wants to be acknowledged. He wants to show people that he is real. I mean, you could see that as, a metaphor for, diversity and wanting to be seen and wanting opportunities in this world that you may not get. So it is an interesting angle to tackle. The problem is it's not really a main thing until literally the last act of this film. So overall, Glass it's a bit of a mess. It's a fairly solid follow-up to Split. It's honestly not that good a follow-up to Unbreakable. Like, David Dunn and Elijah Price are two great characters, and I feel like they deserved a better movie than this. But honestly, it's entertaining enough while you're watching it, and I'd be lying if I said this was Shyamalan's worst movie. I'd be lying if I said this was one of Shyamalan's 5 worst movies. So yeah, given all of that, I would say give Glass a chance at matinee price. So those are my thoughts on Glass. What did you think about it? Comment below, let me know. I hope to be doing a lot more reviews like this in the future. It's my goal this year to have a review out, at least one review out every week. So I'm really going to try to keep to that this year. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.